Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of smoke-free slots and the highest payout percentage in the area. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, more spins, more wins, more fun. Transfer portal news, the spring football showcase this Saturday. All that excitement surrounding an appearance for Wisconsin Badgers head football coach Luke Fickell, scheduled to appear in the 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch this morning, right here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. If you can't catch Coach Fickell live, that's okay. You can always watch it back on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel or subscribe to the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts as well. The Varsity Podcast on the ESPN Wisconsin app. Luke Fickell scheduled to appear in the 11 o'clock hour. ESPN NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum scheduled to appear coming up at 9:30, 1 week away from the 2025 NFL Draft kicking off in Green Bay. What will the Packers do? How the Packers ace the draft. ESPN's Ben Solak has it outlined over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wilde and Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky? It might be almost to the point of Ruth.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Touch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
The Thursday edition. Some star power on today's program. And I'm not talking about old boy or me or Jesse shaping the young minds of Bradley University students. I'm talking about Mike Tannenbaum, scheduled to appear at 9:30, and Badgers head football coach Luke Fickell, scheduled to appear at 11 edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video most of the time. Twitter, I see it. It's there today. Facebook, gotta get that fixed. And, of course, always on YouTube, both the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison channels. And, of course, now on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is back from his whatever it was, because there are some of us on the panel who think that Pablo Iglesias was invited and you invited yourself. And
yeah, that's me, Jesse. Just for full transparency, it's 100% me that feels that way.
It's not just you. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Jason. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Jesse?
Hey, guys.
Why do you have like what looks like would be a basketball jersey? Are you hanging your shirt back there to like let us know that it's game day? And you're going to slouch around on our show, but then when it gets to be pushing time, you're going to go button up? Or why are you hanging that back there like it's a trophy?
I'm not hanging it back there like it's a trophy. I had to do some
Jesse,
television.
did that not look like it was you're hanging your clothes, you're getting into game day gear, and then you're going to, like Al Harris, that would be Al for post-game interviews. That's what that looked like.
It seemed like it was begging us to ask him about it.
100%.
The way it was
he's
placed
not putting,
behind him,
he doesn't
seemed
do
like
anything
it was,
unintentional. This is Jason Wilde is an intentional dude.
Not in this case.
That's why he minces words, and he is very intentional with how he breaks down transcripts. This word is very definitive. That shirt tells me you got big plans today. That's what that shirt tells me.
No, it tells you that I appeared on the 4 o'clock news on WISC TV3 yesterday.
Oh.
Had some technical glitches that made me look like an idiot. So I tried to overcome them. I'm not sure I did a good job of it, but I'm having a great time. They've got a great team over there. It's awesome to be part of it. But I can't go on television with a hat and a hoodie. So that I don't, as you may know about me, I do not walk around in my Vineyard Vines $16 shirt that I got off Poshmark.
Get no
generally.
Vineyard Vine shirt for $16.
I did.
That's Jim Nantz stuff.
Yeah,
No.
pre-owned. I could show you the receipt, bro. I'm a bargain hunter. Okay. So, but I don't walk around in that.
You don't bargain hunt socks and underpants, do you?
I do not have pre-owned socks or underwear. No, I don't. Okay. But pretty much everything else, shoes. Anyway.
Hangers.
But I don't. No,
Is that hanger for sale?
Someone else has.
Are you trying to sell that hanger or not?
10 cents. So I did the segment, and then I obviously wanted to change back into my normal clothing, which is hoodie, shorts, hat, and I forgot that I hung it there because at the time I thought, I'm doing this again tomorrow, so I'll just leave the shirt there. But then I thought, well, I got to find a different shirt. Can't wear the same shirt.
Not buying the story. Nope,
okay, well, you're entitled to that,
I'm not gonna
but
buy it.
I don't see why I would intentionally bring this conversation onto myself.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not
because
sure.
I did
choice.
it.
All right, so Jesse,
what did you
how
wear
many
to talk
panels
to those
were you on
students?
yesterday? Did you actually go to both panels, or were you like,
all right,
I have to go to one because I drove down to Peoria?
So let's clarify a couple of things here. So the panels were Tuesday. At Bradley University, the sports communication program. Yes, we drove back yesterday. I had to get breakfast and whatnot, so I missed the show. I listened all the way back from.
You took 2 days off for a one-day
That's a
panel?
new one.
Yeah,
Then he wasn't even on it.
I don't even work here. I didn't even go to school here. That's what makes this so hard.
difficult.
So to answer your question, 0 panels yesterday. 1 panel on Tuesday. So we rolled into town. The sports The sports communication program at Bradley University, it's the Charlie Steiner School of Sports Communication, named after former ESPN Sports Center anchor.
Love him.
Voice of the Dodgers, Charlie
Great
Steiner.
anchor.
Yes.
One of the goats.
One of the OGs of ESPN, Charlie
Francis
Steiner.
Scott off-key.
Bradley University alum, Charlie Steiner. So they have this event every year called the Steiner Symposium, where they bring in various people of the industry from all around the country to speak on a number of different subjects. So there were four panels on Tuesday. One of them was on sports betting, which was very fascinating to sit into and listen about all the different aspects of sports betting and how it's influenced how we cover sports, how athletes go about their lives in the world of sports. It's very, very interesting stuff. The second panel, which I was on, was Steiner Success Stories, featuring Bradley alums of the sports communication program who have gone on to be successful titans of the industry.
I'm sorry, what were you considered?
Titan. Number 1 pick. Titan of the industry.
Question.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
How many chairs were there set, and did you end up getting like one of those slide a chair in late because you weren't actually invited to be on the panel.
So it is interesting that the first panel had 3. The third panel in the afternoon, which was about AI in sports, which, Tausch, I should have recorded.
Oh, I would have loved that.
I should have recorded it for you. There was a lot of interesting stuff that came from that one.
Scary or not? Is it scary?
Not scary. Really interesting how there's Division I college football programs holding like film sessions with virtual holograms that simulate the offense, like in a full size field room. They project the holograms, and that's how you do film study for some of these. It's incredible.
Okay.
There were 3 on that panel. I believe there were 3 on the final panel. There were 5 for our panel, which makes it seem like there may have been 1 or 2 late additions.
Okay, so I'm not sitting here saying that you weren't invited. But you weren't invited to this. You didn't get emailed. You didn't have a chair. Did they have a name tag for you? A name
I did have a name card. Yes, I did have a name card.
Did you draw it yourself?
My name is, and then you had to write it in.
Did you draw it yourself?
I did not draw it myself. I did not come with it just in case. I was on. They had a nice little thing when you walked in the front door of the Global Communications Center on campus, and they had little headshots of everybody involved on the panels. I was on that. So I was definitely included there. So it was a hit and miss whether I was officially invited or not. But we made our way up onto the stage. There was plenty of room for me. And we had what was shared after the fact as one of the most fun panels that they said they've ever had at the Steiner Symposium.
Who said
they did?
Some of the instructors.
A lot of people?
They took us out for a nice dinner in the evening after all the panels were done. We had a nice night, and they said this was one of the most fun ones they'd ever had, having all of us there
good
and
job,
hearing
Jesse.
the success stories that we had. It was pretty cool.
awesome.
It was pretty cool.
great.
All right. So, first of
Kudos
all,
to you, Jesse.
Thanks, Tausch.
yes,
You bet.
kudos to you. You took 2 days to appear on one panel. Well done.
Yeah.
The ironic part of that is, it's great. We obviously want ESPN Madison to continue to grow and all that. So we already had representation down there in Pablo.
We did, yes. Pablo graduated.
Who got the emails?
He graduated a couple
Who
of years
actually
after
was
me.
invited.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
Yeah. So Steiner offered to fly him down.
Yeah, he
and
did.
you forced him to drive.
Yep.
And then stop at some greasy spoon so you could miss another day of work.
Oglesby.
That's, in essence, what happened.
Gas station in Oglesby. It's like one of those stops where it's got like everything you need, and it had all this construction gear, Bears and Cowboys themed. On one of the like, what are we doing? Anyway, side story. You were about to ask a question,
Sounds
Jason.
like it.
Yeah.
I was. Who were the other titans of the industry that were on these panels, so I can get an idea of where you,
That is
since
a
you like to
strong word.
tier people, I would like to know what tier of titans you were in.
And so
That is exact. I would love to know where Jesse views himself on the Titanhood. On that panel, there's 5 people, which
Yep.
there was only supposed to be 3. Where do you tier yourself on that panel?
Great question. One was still a student. She's going to be graduating soon, but she's been so successful they felt she deserved, and she definitely earned and deserved to be on the panel. She was more involved than anything I was ever in school. So.
She's like their Chrissy Birdsall.
Yeah, so she was like Tier 1 Delaney was her name. Tier 1 Titan
Tier 1
Delaney for sure.
Did
Pablo's
Chrissy
a
get
Titan.
invited too, and you didn't let her go?
Chrissy did
Is
not
that-
go to Bradley University.
Okay.
She would not be a Steiner
All right,
success story. She would be a success story from whatever it is here in Madison.
Vilas Hall, yeah.
Pablo, we're all Tier 1 success stories. You're like, Miguel is a video production guy for the Big Ten Network, so he zooms all around the greater Midwest, a lot of time in Chicago with the Chicago Fire MLS team. He was doing video production with them. A lot of great experience there. Pablo, of course, in TV, and now here at ESPN Wisconsin, doing all he does with digital media and hosting shows. There was me. There was one other who was pursuing her master's, I believe, and looking more on the educational side of the industry. So it was a good variety of a bunch of different people who were featured, I'd say.
Was Charlie Steiner there?
It's the spice of life.
Charlie's been there just about every year, I believe, that they've had it.
Then he heard you were coming.
This was the 10th year, the 8th one. They canceled it twice because of the pandemic. Charlie was unable to make it this year. He did record a really nice message that was played for everybody before the first panel got started. So his influence was definitely strongly felt throughout the entire
Who is
thing.
the Mount Rushmore of SportsCenter anchors? I would argue, I think the guarantees are DP and Stuart Scott.
Yeah, Stuart Scott
Those
is
two
number
are lock
one.
stock.
Yeah.
No, DP's number one. Stewart's 2.
Rich Eisen?
Craig Kilborn?
Maybe. Too short of a time frame.
John Anderson, our teammate?
Definitely not.
Yeah, maybe.
You got to have SVP. They rebranded
Yeah, I feel
SportsCenter
like
to be
he's
just
golf.
him.
Yeah, I feel like he's golf. But, yeah, I think you're right. SVP has stayed the course, man. Pun intended. SVP's on it. You're right, Gel. 3. So we got 3. We need
Gel.
a 4th.
That's a new one.
The power rankings of all-time SportsCenter anchors. There are some pretty big names that we've already left out, so we'll have to work on that. I want to get to someone who appears on SportsCenter and Get Up and unsportsmanlike and everything else. Mike Tannenbaum, he's scheduled to appear on our show at 9:30. So let's talk a little bit about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin before we list our SportsCenter anchors.
Well, very excited. We just got all of our assignments for the draft next week. We had a call yesterday. We're excited. A lot of buzz about the draft up in Green Bay. There's stuff built. There's going to be hundreds of thousands of people. But you know what? You're not going to find a draft seeping through Pella's windows and doors. In fact, you should make Pella your number one pick because right now you take advantage of no-interest financing options, or you can get that free glass upgrade. Their talented designers and installers can match your home's unique decor through seamless customizations. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends on April 30th, so place your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Bleacher Report did a power rankings of the all-time greatest SportsCenter anchors.
Yeah, DP's one, right?
I'll tell you who's number one.
Oh, teaser. Jesse, go to break. Go to break.
and who's number 2, who's very close to our hearts, next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And springtime is here. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Baseball season is in full swing, and the basketball and hockey playoffs showcase exciting action just about every night. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond, the hardwood, and the ice in your Prize Picks lineup. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports so you can combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. The push to the playoffs is on with Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a 3. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab, that's his favorite. And the 2.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
It's time for spring savings at Metro Kia Madison this month. Drive away in the 2025 Kia K4 with financing as low as 2.9% for 48 months, $22.09 cost per thousand borrowed. Or you can upgrade to the luxurious 2025 Kia Sportage with rates as low as 1.9% for 60 months, $17.48 cost per thousand. Hurry, these offers end April 30th. Head to Metro Kia Madison or visit metrokiamadison.com today.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Want to join the fastest-growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest-growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly open Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
I'm the most guaranteed person you could take.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
Is he a lockdown corner? Is he an elite receiving entity?
Round 1 begins Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Hold on, I don't want to know what it's like when you're gone. I don't want to move on. I don't want to know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips a little bit by a little bit.
This is not a comprehensive list, obviously. A couple of the highlights from Bleacher Report's top 25 Sports Center anchors. This also appears to be a bit outdated. 2019 it was posted, so I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Sports Center these days.
I couldn't even tell you outside of SVP, like, who are the anchors now?
I don't know. I don't, honestly.
Randy Scott.
Some names of note. Greg Gumbel at number 23. Friend of show,
like in the Stone Ages.
Chris Fowler at 22.
Wow. He was an anchor?
He was. 1989 through 1993. Okay. Then he went to Game Day and everything else. Steve Levy, 19th.
Leaves.
Carl Ravitch.
Rav.
Are you going to do this for the whole thing?
I hope so.
Maybe.
Neil
Maybe.
Everett, 16.
Yeah,
Underrated,
he's funny.
in my
he's a
opinion.
witty guy.
I always liked Larry Beal. He's not on the list. Charlie Steiner, 15.
15. Should be higher.
Chris Berman is 13 on this list. He's
I don't
kind of
know how much he
polarizing.
anchored.
I think he anchored a lot
I
back
just
in
don't
the
know.
day.
I don't know how much he Sports Center anchored. He's been an NFL guy for years.
In fact, he probably had this music playing behind his highlights. If I recall correctly.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Craig Kilborn, 12. John Buchagras,
Kilborn
11.
can't be. Let me tell you something. There's no world Craig Kilborn is going to be ahead of Chris Berman. There's not.
All right, here's the top 10. Again, according to Bleacher Report. Susie Colbert, 10. Trey Wingo, friend of show, 9.
Oh,
Scott
Treyster.
Van Pelt, 8.
No.
Keith
What?
Olbermann, 7. Stuart Scott, only 6.
No.
Stuart Scott's 2 at the worst.
Linda Cohn, 5.
Yeah, she's top 5.
Now here's the guy
She's
that
good.
I would argue for being higher than he was maybe thought of in our little group as we were throwing out names.
Sure.
Kenny Mayne. Kenny Mayne, 4.
Yeah, he was a polarizing guy, though. Some people loved him because he had a different kind of sense of humor.
He did. That's fair.
I get that. Yeah.
Rich Eisen, 3.
Okay.
John Anderson, 2.
Yeah, I think John Anderson's longevity, that is not an easy, 25 years, I believe.
Yeah, he's one of the GOATs. There's no doubt. He belongs in the top 5.
So he's going to be 4 for me. I'm going to put him at 4.
And number 1, as you have already stated, Dan Patrick.
Yeah, there's nobody close. DP is 1.
There's your list.
No doubt about it.
Did we miss anyone?
SVP, I'm sorry. SVP has to be in that equation. He has to.
I'm bumping Kenny Mayne for SVP.
Yeah, 100%. And I like Kenny. Kenny's been on the show a lot more than SVP. Kenny's the guy, but not in this case.
I'm not sure. There are some prominent names. I've got some. Apparently, this is a very popular thing to rank because there's a lot of different options. Interestingly enough, Bob Lee was left off of that
he
list.
Was great.
Yeah,
he was more of an outside the lines guy. He's more. He has chops. He's a chops guy, journalistic chops.
Bob
guy.
Lee featured panelist at the Steiner symposium a few years ago.
Bob Lee. Okay.
Bob Lee and Jesse Nelson, 2 peas in a pod.
Titans. Robin Roberts, also. I personally enjoy her work on GMA.
That's who you listen to try prep for the show.
That's exactly
So
what I do.
it's tough to do some of these based on just their Sports Center work versus what else. Because Berman is one of the top ESPN guys of all time.
Jesse, we're not ranking ESPN personalities. We are ranking Sports Center anchors.
Right.
We left Reese Davis off the list.
And College Game Day, not
he's a
Sports
College
Center.
Game Day guy.
Okay,
what are you known for? What are you known for? Stewart and DP both known for being the anchors. That's what they're known for.
Okay, fair. John Anderson, known for being an anchor.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Linda.
All right. These are all fair
Linda
critiques.
Cohn's hockey to me. She's a hockey gal.
No, Steve Levy's a hockey person.
Now, Linda's more hockey than Levy, in my opinion. Total rink gal. She's a rink gal.
A rink gal.
Yeah.
As I go through here, a few other people that probably your guy, Mike Tirico, but you don't think of him from his anchoring days.
He's
is what you're
play-by-play.
telling me.
No, he's a PX.
Okay, well, again, he was an anchor for a significant
Yeah,
piece
great.
of his career.
But he's a PX peer.
Chris McKendry, she is in that group of
tennis. She's tennis.
John Anderson.
You can
types
have a
that are-
specialty and still be a anchor.
Now, not if you want to Rushmore yourself as like SVP has done this so long and has done his show. Even though he's golf guy, he is Sports Center guy. He is the gold standard in Sports Center.
When we said SVP, the first thing he says, he's a golf guy, and now you're changing your tune on him.
I forgot that he does the Sports Center out of D.C. every night. Like I have to.
It's
I have to
called
adjust.
How did you forget that?
He's the only guy.
I don't know, but
he's the only guy that's ever had a Sports Center named for him.
He's got his own logo.
That's why he's on the Mount Rushmore. You guys are arguing my point for me. Thank you.
But you didn't have him on the list moments ago.
Initially.
But you're just going to dismiss Linda
like the
because
Badgers
she's a rink
going to the
gal.
Final Four if they went through Milwaukee.
Chris McKendry, tennis.
She's a tennis gal. Yeah.
Michael Kim, Larry Beal made the list. Tom Mees. One of the
R.I.P.
people,
Tom.
Yeah. One of the people that I forgot that was old school. If you're an old school Sports Center fan, Gail. What was her name? Gail.
You forgot too.
Gail Gardner. That's who it was. She was. I remember her when I was coming up.
Here's the deal. This Mount Rushmore, there's a lot of subjectivity with Mount Rushmore.
Jack
and it's
Edwards.
not Mount Rushmore season yet.
Robert Flores.
The 4 I put up are the correct answer. This conversation.
If you do say so
run
yourself.
its course. No, it's done. I don't even think you can argue it.
Well, if Old T says it's done, it's done.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get ready to talk to Mike Tannenbaum, so Tausch should tell us about a contest that is definitely not yet done, and that is the one with Kohler Services.
Yes, and if you think your shower sucks, you think it's ugly and stanky, well, Kohler has got you covered. Upload a photo of that stank, ugly shower to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yep, you heard me right. One lucky fan. Free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath. And you get that great installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. Simple to do. Again, all you do is upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win that beautiful new Kohler Lugstone shower.
Mike Tannenbaum of ESPN scheduled to appear next. It's ESPN. It's ESPN Sports Center.
Linda Cohn.
It's Wilde and Tausch. She's a hockey gal, rink gal. Stick around.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The sound of summaries on ESPN Madison.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Madison's home of the Brewers.
Fly ball right field. Hit a ton. We're tied.
Catch every Milwaukee Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN.
Get up. Get out of here. Gone.
Brewers baseball on ESPN Madison is presented by Hard Rock Casino Rockford and brought to you by J&K Security Solutions and Revive Restoration.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30-2025.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly.
We have a lot of loyal guests that come on once a year to help us out, to make us smarter. This guy's been doing it from almost the very beginning of our show, and we're always better for it. I'm not sure what he gets out of it. You know, maybe he finds us entertaining, but I don't think that's likely. From ESPN, it is Mike Tannenbaum on Wilde and Tausch. Mike, good morning. Thanks for coming back. How you doing, bud?
Good to be with you guys.
I'd like to start with a question from your GM days, because Brian Gutekunst, and again, I haven't done the research on the other 31 teams and other 31 GMs, but it is remarkable what a high percentage of his draft picks or guys he picks up subsequently were guys that came in for top 30 pre-draft visits. And I'm wondering, going back to when you were a GM, how you utilized those. Were those any... Did you ever use them for subterfuge to make other teams think you were interested in someone you weren't? How did you utilize those?
Yeah, look, I think it really speaks to what, Brian and Matt LaFleur have done a great job of, a very systematic process. And I know, like, us in the media make a big deal of, like, subterfuge and throwing people off. I always felt like the draft process was hard enough just to do it authentically that I didn't really play those games. But typically you would bring guys in that you were interested in, that you had another question. It could be, security, medical, question about their ability to learn, off-field issue, whatever it may be. So there's obviously significant interest. But with that said, we would tell players at the Combine that, hey, look, if you don't hear from us, that's not necessarily a bad sign. It just means that we don't have any more questions.
Mike, has there been any, when you were going through those processes, what is that big red flag? Because I'm guessing as this has gotten more evolved, agents and their teams have gotten players really dialed into answering the questions properly. Has there been a case where you've sat down, interviewed a guy, and then said, we're not grabbing this guy, we're not going to draft, he's undraftable?
Yeah, we took quarterbacks off the board when we would show them interception plays, and they would blame the play caller or a teammate. Like for quarterbacks, you want, as Coach Parcells would say, battlefield commanders, where when you're successful, you give credit, and when there's blame, it's your fault. So, you look for people that are selfless, team-oriented, that, want to invest in their teammates and accept blame. And you'd be surprised, especially at the quarterback position, when that doesn't happen.
What if nobody went to their birthday party? Oh, wait, that was a fictional movie. Never mind.
Good call.
Mike, when you're talking about quarterbacks, obviously the Packers a few years ago drafted Jordan Love. He sat for 3 years. Now he's going into year 3. I have some questions about him. But first, how do you view this quarterback class? I'm trying to understand just how it doesn't feel like there's the same level of, we think this guy's a can't-miss type guy in this group. Do you feel the same way? How do you view the first-round quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit underrated in my opinion. I think Cam Ward has a chance to be really good. Shedeur Sanders, to me, I keep saying I see Kirk Cousins, which is a really good quarterback who played for a long time. I think Tyler Shugg is really interesting out of Louisville, and Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. Those are my 4 first-round quarterbacks. So I think it's probably a little bit better than others see it as.
Well, speaking of Jordan Love, I'm curious where you see him in his development, because Tausch and I have been talking for a while now about this is such a critical year for him. He had such a great back half of 23. You can say the injuries factored in last year, the drops factored in last year, but he did not make the leap that I think everyone, including Jordan, was expecting. Where do you see him right now, this moment, and what does he have to do to elevate his game in 2025?
Yeah, I'm very bullish on him. I think he has a chance to be a superstar. Look, he has to clean up, a handful of plays a game, which candidly every quarterback does. But I think that comes with experience or knowing that, hey, we have a really good defense and, checking the ball down here is good. He does have a lot of confidence in his arm. You watch him play, that's pretty apparent. I'm very high on him, very bullish about his future.
Mike, how do you look at this receiving core? Because from the Packers standpoint, and then also this draft class of wideouts, because that is what our fans have been asking and they want. But when you're picking up wideouts, do you try to stagger it where you don't have – there's so much in year 4 and year 3, you have decisions you have to make, and when guys maybe don't make that jump, how do you evaluate where Green Bay's at the wide receiver spot?
Yeah, I've always liked it. When you look at Reed, Dobbs, and Watson, look, they have different skill sets. You throw in the tight ends. I think it's a good group. I know there's no dominant difference-making one, but I like it. You want to throw the ball to the open guy, let your quarterback play point guard. I wouldn't be surprised, like what they typically do, add a second-round receiver, maybe in the third. So, I look, would you love to have a number one difference maker? Of course you would, but I don't think there's many teams that you would say, wow, we take that group of receivers over Green Bay's.
What about the way, and Tausch mentioned this, Mike, but what about the way Goody has kind of stacked roster spots with multiple picks in the same drafts, right? Like if we look at the Packers' offensive line, Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker, and Sean Ryan are all in the last year of their deals. At wide receiver, Watson and Dobbs are in their last year of their deal this year. Next year, Reed and Wicks will be in the last year of their deals. When you're trying to build a roster, does that matter? Because it does feel like you're putting yourself in a position where you got a lot of guys in one spot. You got to figure out what you want to do with them. And when they play a lot, you'd like to think you got enough information. But like Tausch kind of said there, I'm not sure that Goody has sufficient information to know who he really wants to keep and who he's willing to let walk.
Yeah, look, in a cap system, you can't pay them all. I think they've done a pretty good job, though, of identifying core guys and keeping them. Aaron Jones left, obviously. Certainly seems like Jair Alexander's going to be on his way out. But I think over the course of time, they've done a pretty good job of retaining their own. And, look, in a cap system, guys, some of them are going to graduate. That's just part of the math. But I think, well, do I think they're going to add a receiver, an offensive lineman, and a corner at some point? Absolutely. And then, the other thing is because they've had such great, productive drafts, you could go out and get a Xavier McKinney and be opportunistic. And there's a lot of teams like the Dallas Cowboys that just haven't been afforded that luxury.
Mike, you just mentioned Jair. How would you as a GM handle this situation where last year he was playing and then he got hurt and was unable to get back out there? There's no roster bonus that kind of spurs this on, and there's no trade, at least it doesn't feel like, that makes it worthwhile for Green Bay to do it. How long do you keep a guy on a roster even though you probably know he's not going to be at fall camp? How do you approach that if you're a GM?
Yeah, ideally, I think you'll see this around the league, guys. Like, this is, the draft, you want to kind of clean things up. So I would think next week would be a good time for that to bring, closure, and hopefully, he gets someplace he wants to be. Green Bay gets, relatively decent value, and you get closure to it.
All right. Before I let you go, Mike, the Pittsburgh Steelers situation with Aaron Rodgers, you had a similar situation with Favre. Now this is obviously a little bit unique in the fact you don't know if he's going to play for you. You have the draft coming. You don't want to go into the season with Mason Rudolph as your quarterback. What are you doing if you're Pittsburgh and you're in this situation?
Yeah, we just talked about for 2 hours on Get Up. You got to go get a guy. I think Aaron Rodgers is telling you a lot by not signing him by now. So I wouldn't be surprised if, they were a little bit aggressive in the draft and go get Shedeur Sanders if he's there, or, Jackson Dart. I'm just hard-pressed to think that they're going to pay $30 million a year, give up a second-round pick for DK Metcalf, and have Mason Rudolph be their open day quarterback.
All right, Mike, along those lines before you go, Tausch's dad used to always say, talent outs. So is Aaron Rodgers still at a place as a player? You watched him last year when he was back from the Achilles. Is he still at a place where talent outs and you're willing as a GM to tolerate the uncertainty or the waiting or him hoping that J.J. McCarthy falls flat on his face and he can go to Minnesota instead? Like, is he good enough that the Steelers should wait for him or not?
We're getting close to that point where I don't think so. 42 years old. He played well, not great. If his last name was Smith or Jones, we probably would have said, hey, let's move on. You give the benefit of the doubt to, obviously, an all-time great player, but he's close to the end.
Yeah. Well, if his name was Tauscher, we definitely would have moved on. Mike, we appreciate your time. You're the best, man.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Mike Tannenbaum of ESPN. I am fascinated by, and I'm glad you asked, I would love to know what the conversations are inside of the Steelers headquarters. And I would love to know what Mike Tomlin is saying privately about this. Because you always bring a line about, I want volunteers, not hostages.
That's Mike Tomlin's line.
Right. And
steal it from him.
I understand. And what is Aaron Rodgers? He's neither. He's not stuck in the building, and he's not volunteering to come into the building. So what is he?
I just wonder if it's a case where he's looking at it and saying, I don't want to be a lame duck one-year guy, at least not here. I think in Minnesota he feels great about that. That was reported last week. That's the, pitch that his team gave to Minnesota. I think in Pittsburgh, if he's going to do this, I'm guessing he's going to commit to a couple of years. And I think he just doesn't want to be in a situation where he commits and they trade up to get Shedeur Sanders, and he knows, all right, here I go again. I think that is probably a part of it. And then I wonder, too, how much of it does he think that this team can win? Because he's not coming back for money. He's not coming back for anything but winning. And if he doesn't feel like he is going to be on a team that can win it all, I wonder how much he wants to play. I'm guessing those are the conversations that he's having. I don't know what Pittsburgh's conversations are.
I still believe he will play in the NFL this year, but we will not spend any more time talking about him because I can feel the frustration in the YouTube comments. Instead, we'll talk about the latest sale going on at Steinhoffel's.
Hey, Jason, we could tease this out. I want you to get to your Steinhoffel's, but do you think Packer fans love the fact that Jordan Love is no drama? I like a little drama. I'm not going to lie to you. I know you do.
As a radio host,
there will be a time that Jordan Love has drama. As a teammate, I want my quarterback to be a star. I want him to be a great teammate, but I want him to be a star too. All right, Steiny.
I want my quarterback to be well rested, and he will be if he gets a Beauty Rest black mattress at Steinhoffel's. Beauty Rest black mattresses use sleep climate technology that transfers heat away from the body, and triple-stranded pocketed coil technology. I knew I was going to mess that up. To give you the most advanced support system in a mattress. Right now, the new Beautyrest Black is only $42 a month when you use Steinhaffel's 60-month financing. Plus, you'll get up to $300 in Steinhaffel's cash. So shop in-store or online. Take the drama out of finding your new mattress and go to Steinhaffel's for the Beautyrest Black. Check it out at steinhaffels.com as well. Tausch wants drama? That seems like an interesting thought. We'll explore that more next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Brewers baseball is back.
Bunting it up the first baseline. It's a good bunt. Racing home is done. He will score. Bryce Terrain gets the job done.
Hear the sound of summer right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Mark Tauscher here for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. And springtime is here. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Baseball season is in full swing, and the basketball and hockey playoffs showcase exciting action just about every night. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond, the hardwood, and the ice in your Prize Picks lineup. On Prize Picks, you can mix and match player projections from different sports so you can combine your favorite baseball players with players from basketball, hockey, esports, and much more. The push to the playoffs is on with Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk, in for Pablo Iglesias. It's been a rough week for Wisconsin football, to say the least, and things went from bad to worse Tuesday morning as head coach Luke Fickell confirmed that starting left tackle Kevin Haywood will undergo ACL surgery and more than likely miss the entirety of the 2025 season. Haywood started every game for the Badgers last year and by all accounts was having an impressive spring. Junior Josh Layton has been practicing in his stead.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Zimbrick Honda has been a proud part of the Madison community since 1973, and they're your one-stop shop for over 250 new Hondas to choose from. Whether it's the sedan, SUV, or truck, their selection of new vehicles is second to none and has exactly what you're looking for. Stop in today at their location on Fish Hatchery Road and check out the all-new 2024 Honda Prologue, Honda's first all-electric SUV, or browse their selection online at ZimbrickHonda.com. That's ZimbrickHonda.com. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I closed my eyes, I could see you in my sweatshirt, dancing around that college bar. These days I don't know where you are, but I get to keep these memories.
I'm very bullish on him. I think he has a chance to be a superstar. Look, he has to clean up a handful of plays a game, which candidly every quarterback does. But I think that comes with experience or knowing that, hey, we have a really good defense and, checking the ball down here is good. He does have a lot of confidence in his arm. You watch him play, that's pretty apparent. I'm very high on him, very bullish about his future.
That is Mike Tannenbaum of ESPN talking about Jordan Love, the Packers starting quarterback. Tausch, are you as bullish on Jordan, or have you become less bullish in the aftermath of last season?
I would say I wouldn't go to the lengths that Mike just did. I want to see more consistency from Jordan. I think we've seen enough to know that he is going to be a really good quarterback. Have we seen, and what separates the really good from the great are making the big plays late in games. He's shown us flashes of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what we didn't see last year, and again, you can make excuses and you can say, well, these are just facts. He was not healthy for a vast majority of last season. He fought his way back on the field when he probably shouldn't have, and he was not able to do a lot with his legs, and that is a part of his game that I think last year was not there. But he was not consistent enough for 4 quarters. I continue to just come back to this. I don't care which game it was. It didn't feel like there was one game you walked out of Lambeau or you doing a post-game show and it's like, man, that was a great 4 quarters of football by this offense.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel it at all. And that, I know football is a game where some days you just don't have it. But there are some days that you do. And I just felt like whatever game, New Orleans, where it was a rout, there were still some choppy parts of the game or penalties. And I come back to what LaFleur said at the end of the season where sloppy. Quarterback isn't responsible for everything. Quarterback is responsible to make sure everybody knows what they're doing and gets it in and gets things rolling. And when things are sloppy, you pull people out of it. And I think Jordan Love has to take another step this season in that regard. To be a superstar, you got to play big in the biggest moments. And I thought that was the case coming into this last season. And I think if we're being honest about what we saw last year, we saw a player that showed some really good signs, again, of doing what we saw at the end of last season or 2 seasons ago, but just not on a consistent basis this last year. There are reasons for that. So I do believe he is going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. Do I think right now that he has the same attributes that I don't think we should compare him any way, shape, or form to Aaron Rodgers. I don't. I think he's going to go on his pace, and I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. Is he going to be to the level where Aaron was in his heyday, where he's winning MVPs? I need to see more before I would say that.
So I'm glad you brought up the injuries because Gabe Neitzel said something interesting on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy this morning because we were talking about this. We were talking about this article or this ranking that has the Packers as the 7th best roster in the NFL, which we're going to talk about in the 10 o'clock hour as well. But we started talking about Jordan Love, and I mentioned the injuries and saying, it clearly affected him. And Gabe made what I thought was a really smart point, and that is, welcome to the NFL and playing quarterback. And it is a process of learning how to play through injuries, but you played with 2 guys who played through a hell of a lot, right? I mean, Rodgers obviously couldn't play through the broken collarbones, but we remember that game in 2008 against Atlanta where he had to go down to the Hudson Center and throw and show that he could throw with a partially dislocated throwing shoulder. We remember in 2018, was it 2018, when he, in the opener, cracked the tibial plateau in his knee played the rest of the season with a fracture in his knee, didn't miss a game. He played with a broken thumb in 2022, and no one seemed to really give him much credit for that, even though Favre got a lot of credit for doing it when he did it. We know what Favre did, how many times he played injured. I think it was your rookie year in 2000 where he jacked up his ankle really badly, and Matt Hasselbeck had to go in, and you did not think there was any way he was going to play the following week, and he did. So how much grace do we give Jordan Love's performance last year for the MCL and for the groin injury, and how much of it is, okay, lots of guys have to play hurt at your position. You got to be better than what you were.
I think the bottom line, and I've said this numerous times, that nobody cares. Like, I want my guys to go out and compete. I give Marco Rivera a ton of admiration because I saw how he had to get off the mat with knees and other things to get out and play, and it was never going to be, well, Marco's knee's bad, he didn't play as well. We all understood maybe it wasn't going to be as clean, but you step out on the field, you got to perform. And I admire how Jordan came back from that MCL after 2 weeks and got out there, but his performance, were people giving him grace when it was 28-0 against Minnesota? There are a lot of boos. Because in the grand scheme of things, you got to perform. That's what it's about. So I love the fact that he's tough and that he gets out there. And there's no doubt that affected his play in the beginning part of last season. There's no doubt. The turnovers and some of the other things, maybe he couldn't avoid like he normally could because he was a step or two slower, and that led to some really bad decisions. You didn't see a lot of the bad decisions late in the season. So I give a lot of grace, but I also am saying, all right, I think maybe we crowned a little too early, and now we see the expectations are going to be lower, I believe, for Jordan than they were last year, which is crazy to say. I think the pressure is going to be higher, but I think right now there are a lot of people sleeping on this Green Bay Packer team as we sit here today.
We'll talk about this Green Bay Packers roster and whether it is indeed the 7th best roster in the league, according to The Athletic, which did some number crunching.
Dane Brugler. Is it Brugs?
Austin Mock, not Dane Brugler, on this.
How is Austin Mock not doing mock drafts? Like, what is he doing? What is he doing a week before the draft? Talking about team rosters, he should be all over the draft with a name like Mock.
Well, he's using the expected margin of victory model to project the quality of each of the 32 rosters.
EMOB. The old EMOB.
They have XMOV, so I don't know. They don't. Apparently, they don't like the E.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I expect us to discuss this to kick off the 10 o'clock hour, and I expect that to happen in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Chevy Truck Month is back. Get more truck for your buck at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Right now, get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Chevy Silverado. That's right, 2.9% for 6 years. That really is more truck for your buck. But hurry, offer ends on April 30th. Never overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $15.15 per 1,000 financed with approved credit through GM Financial.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Wisconsin Badgers head football coach Luke Fickell scheduled to appear coming up at 11 o'clock on Wilde and Tausch here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. If you can't stick around to catch Coach Fickell live ahead of the spring showcase this Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium, well, you can always listen back on the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download the app today, subscribe to Wilde and Tausch and all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows. Customize your tabs, all kinds of great things on the new ESPN Wisconsin app. That's also where you can find our interview with ESPN NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum. He joined the show just a few minutes ago, weighing in on Jordan Love's progress as a starting quarterback in the NFL, the wide receiver prospects for the draft next Thursday as round 1 gets underway in Green Bay, and a whole lot more. Check out the full conversation with ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum on the ESPN Wisconsin app. No Bucks, no Brewers today. Wilde and Tausch continues right now, 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Does not do mock drafts for The Athletic. Instead, he uses a projection model to rank all 32 rosters heading into the draft. And the headline is NFL projection model ranks all 32 rosters ahead of the draft. Why are the Bears so low? Poor Jim Rutledge. For those of you wondering, the Bears are 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26th on their list here. Austin explains that his model assigns a value to each player and then examines what the expectation would be, how many points a team is expected to win or lose by against an average NFL roster. Now, again, I'm not a math guy. And
what are you?
I'm not sure.
The words guy.
Okay.
Helicopter parent guy. I'm not sure I buy all the analytics as much as I love Moneyball and the incredible film. I am confused as to how exactly this works, but I'm intrigued by the fact that whatever this model spits out of its supercomputer, the Packers are 7th.
Who's an average NFL roster?
Exactly. This is what I mean. I don't know how you. I feel like in today's realm, we just take, it's analytics, so it must be good. And I don't know. I don't know if I understand the concept well enough to critique it.
Seattle?
According to this, the average rosters, the ones that are the closest to the 0 mark in this chart, because either you're on the red side that you're below 0 or you're on the blue side above 0. The teams that are within a couple tenths of 0 are the Vikings at 0.1, the Chargers at 0.1, the Cowboys at minus 0.4. So those are teams that are below 0, but barely. So I guess they'd be the average rosters. Here are the ones that are in the blue or in the black. Tausch's eyes are glazed over, but I promise we'll get to these.
No. I'm trying to think who is ahead of Green Bay. And I'm going to guess, if we have any music, I would guess who is going to be ahead of the number 7 Green Bay Packers on this list.
All right.
And I would think you have to say Philly. Philly's got to be
number 1. They are number 1.
Yeah, and they should be. Mm-hmm. So this will give me a good idea if I think this is credible or not.
All right, great.
I would think that the Detroit Lions would be up there.
They're number 3. Number 3.
I think Baltimore is going to be up there.
They are number 2. So now you have 1, 2, and 3 off the board.
Is that by
a
the
lot
way,
of credibility?
Are you giving us 565 analytics rankings of the best rosters? You go with your gut? Is that what this is? Comparing the two rankings?
I am not going to besmirch Klinkster and Geriad in saying they do all the work. I'm not going to tell them
When's
what
the last
565
time they put
analytics
out anything out?
Don't
Wow.
threaten those guys.
I'm not
I
threatening them. What did I miss?
Yes, you are. You're saying they're lazy.
That's not what
Here's
I said.
the deal.
Underpaid.
I worked that crew incredibly hard from September to January. I want good work-life balance in our analytics firm. I'm not interested in them grinding over the draft and the other stuff. They work in the regular season. I am not asking them. If they want to do a special side project, go for it.
We're
Not
asking them to
do
go
this.
with their gut ranking the 10 best NFL rosters, just arbitrarily.
I would have liked to have. It would have been great if Bradley would have let us know. I could have sent one of those guys down for that analytics.
AI.
So they could have learned and probably spoke on what going with your gut looks like.
If we could get back to your guesses, that would be great.
I don't think Kansas City, even though they're
4th.
Obviously, I wouldn't put them. Is their roster that good?
I
would argue our wide receivers are better. I would argue our tight end is better, and I would certainly say our offensive line is better. And our
Wilde
running
and
back
Tausch
is
wide
better.
receivers. Okay.
So I'm not buying Kansas City's roster.
All right, they're 4th.
Being better than them.
There are 2 more teams ahead of the Packers on this list. Who are they?
It's got to be AFC. It's got to be AFC teams.
One of each. I know you're looking for a clue, so I'll just give it to you. One AFC, one NFC. Very, very stealthy of you to say, it's got to be an AFC team.
Are people still trying to tell us that San Francisco's roster stacked?
They are not.
Are
they are on the plus side. They are 10th for the 49ers.
Minnesota's not. You already told us that.
did
Otherwise,
tell
I'd
you
maybe say Minnesota.
Nope.
Rams have Devontae
Is
now.
Washington?
Oh, yeah.
No, Washington is 9th.
All right, I think Buffalo is probably going to be put in there because of Josh
Buffalo
Allen.
is 5. Buffalo is 5.
Yep.
There you go. You got 1 to go before you've cleared the top 6 ahead of the Packers.
The Rams. I think people are going to put the Rams in there.
Nope. The Rams are after the Packers. They are 8th. The team that you're looking for, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rated 6th. So now that you have the list, Eagles, Ravens, Lions, Chiefs, Bills, Bucks, Packers, Rams, Commanders, Niners, Broncos, Bengals. Those are all the teams that are above sea level. Does this have credibility or not in your estimation?
Yeah. I think it's credible, and I think when you look at it, I would take our roster over Buffalo's, but I think Buffalo is in the same case the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Where the quarterback moves the needle to that point. Buffalo's roster as a whole is not better than Green Bay's. But when you add the Josh Allen-ness of it into it, same thing with Pat Mahomes. You add that quarterback, the superstar quarterback, moves the needle. And Jordan Love has not moved the needle nationally and probably locally to the degree these guys have. So I actually look at this from a Packer fan standpoint and say, atta babe, Goot. Atta babe, Goot.
Of course. Now, in fairness.
Well, no. Jordan Love is probably – where is Jordan Love ranked quarterback-wise nationally? I don't think people have him top 10. I don't.
And you do.
I don't know. I thought last year he was a top 3 in the NFC going into last season. I can't sit here and tell you after what we saw last year, even though I don't want this to turn into, boy, Jordan stunk last year. That's not the case.
That's not what I'm saying. I guess
I thought he'd be a Pro Bowl quarterback in a watered-down Pro Bowl. And the fact Baker Mayfield had a better year. Sam Darnold had a better year. Jalen Hurts had a better year. I don't know Matthew Stafford's numbers, but Matthew Stafford, they led their team a little bit further. So quarterback is the differentiator. The fact that people view Jordan as a nice, young, developing talent, not a superstar, and the fact Green Bay's still 7 as an overall roster, I view that as if Jordan elevates even close to that sphere, 7 turns into 3 and 2 real quick.
So I guess my question is, how well do you and I understand you follow the league. I'm not trying to besmirch your reputation. But how well do you really know the Buffalo Bills roster? Right? Like
pretty good. Not necessarily name-wise, but when you start looking at how they play, I think their offensive line is okay. I don't think their skill guys are anything great. I think Josh Allen moves the needle that big of a direction.
So I think they've got some, I don't know where Tucker Kraft is viewed by other people that follow the league. Obviously, we hold him in high regard. We see him all the time. We saw the big jump he made last season. But are Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox, the tight ends for the Bills, significantly better, worse, different than Tucker Kraft is at this point? Or are we just biased because we really like Tucker Kraft and we think he's
I just said, yeah, I don't have a problem with Buffalo being ahead of the Green Bay Packers because Josh Allen moves the needle.
Right, but what you're saying is that they could go the Packers could go from 7 to 3 or 2 pretty quickly. And I'm looking at their roster, and I'm saying they've got a first-team All-Pro at safety in Xavier McKinney. They had a Pro Bowler at safety and running back. And, I mean, come on. Where do we put Rashawn Gary in the elite list of edge rushers in the National Football League?
Pro Bowl.
Not very high.
He made a Pro Bowl. It's your judging, not me. He's a Pro Bowler.
My point is that I think we may, myself included, be guilty of overestimating these guys. These young guys have all played a lot, but just how good are they right now today? How good have they been? Just because they've played a lot doesn't mean that they are. I mean, I think I have been spoiled because I have seen legitimately great players. David Bakhtiari is a great left tackle. Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, great quarterbacks. Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, on, great wide receivers. I'm not sure that there's that many guys on this roster where I should be saying he's great. Josh Jacobs is damn good. Xavier McKinney is damn good. Jordan Love is good. But as you just said moments ago, like, we don't belong putting him. He had a stretch in 23 that was like Rodgers run the table 2016 numbers. People will push back and say, we had the 5th highest QBR if you go by the ESPN quarterback analytics. But the eyeball test to me says that these guys are all good. Good.
So you're telling me that there's no Tony the Tigers on our squad? Is that what you're telling me?
Are we using serial characters? So,
well, you said they're very good.
I like
they're great.
You
don't have any Tony the Tigers on this roster.
We got some Toucan Sams.
It's a pretty good Tony the Tiger.
It's one of the few imitations he does well.
I don't know.
Now we lost it.
So there are great players throughout. I don't know if how you can't say Josh Jacobs wasn't great. I don't know. I would totally disagree. Xavier McKinney was Tony Tiger last year.
Yeah.
No, he was. Zach Tom is very close to being a Tony the Tiger.
Zach
I don't
Tom
know if I'd go Tony the Tiger,
he was
but
not Tony the Tiger last year.
What's that?
Zach Tom would tell you, like he told me, he was not Tony the Tiger last year. He was messed up all season long.
Let me tell you something.
After tearing his
He's going to get himself a lot of cornflakes. He's going to get a lot of Frosted Flakes coming up.
I understand.
Yes.
But if a player himself evaluates himself that way, I think we should take his word for it. He's still going to get paid. He is still a very good player. But he would tell you,
Tiger.
He was not Tony the Tiger last year. He was whoever the Applejacks character is.
Let me tell you something. There's been plenty of players that have told you they're Tony the Tiger, and they're not even like a really good post-toasties. So let's
went post-toasties there? How about Honey Smacks, that frog guy?
Don't just take everybody's word for things. Yeah, Zach Tom struggled at the end of the season. No doubt. He had a peck. He was not 100%. But let's not – I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but
I'm not saying he's not capable of being a great player.
You're basically – correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
You're about to.
You're saying this seventh best roster's bunk. You're not buying it.
I'm saying it feels a little high.
Okay.
I'm not saying that they're 17th. I'm saying they're 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. Christian Watson is not going to be available till November. Romeo Dobbs is inconsistent. Jaden Reed was their leading receiver the last 2 years, and he was on a milk carton in the second half of the season. Dontavion Wicks dropped too many balls, and I say that as his guy. I am a Wicks stan.
True.
And he dropped too many balls.
Do they still put lost people
I don't
on milk
know.
cartons?
That's a great question. I like the phrase. I probably shouldn't use it. Thank you.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah, he was MIA, he was AWOL, he was whatever he was. He wasn't productive.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I have become a stickler because I don't want to tell you what you're thinking.
Who are their
telling
elite
me
corners? Who are their great defensive linemen?
You have too much Nature's Touch milk in your fridge, and you don't have enough Frosted Flakes. That's what you're telling me about this roster.
There's this Raisin Bran with granola in it right now that I'm really hooked on.
Good.
It's a really good combination.
What's your thoughts on dehydrated fruit in cereal?
I do enjoy I know it's not ice cream, but I do enjoy the Special K red berries.
Strawberries.
Also one of my favorites. Yeah, with the strawberries. Yeah, those are dehydrated.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm a fan of that. Sure.
I would say the most overrated. We used to have grape nuts in our house, and I don't know.
Have you ever
ate
actually
grape
eaten
nuts.
a grape nut?
No, I don't. I don't like grape nuts.
They're terrible. Why would I don't know who eats these.
I don't know either. I don't know. But that literally has been a brand that is sold for 50 years. I don't know anybody that eats them. Grape nuts.
Do you
Sounds
eat grape
good.
nuts? There's not even any grapes in them. And I'm not sure they're nuts either. I don't know what they are. All right.
It's a weird texture too.
It is. But I don't understand the appeal. I do understand the appeal.
We don't have one Tony Blanken Tiger on our team?
No, we do. We do. It's Xavier McKinney.
You just said we didn't.
No,
you just said they're good, not great.
No,
That's where I got Tony Tiger from.
You forgot.
Check the tape.
You forgot to
check the tape.
Hey, you forgot to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought you said, and that makes this a little more cordial.
I know.
In this interaction.
That's true, and we've been very cordial today. Very cordial.
I believe I ran through the list, and then we got off the rails. When someone on the panel came out and said, well, Rashawn Gary was a Pro Bowler. Rashawn Gary was a Pro Bowler. I had run through how they had two great players on their team last year.
I would put the point we went off the rails when Tausch did is great. That felt like the real turning point of the
Jesse,
segment.
you know I wouldn't have went Tony Tiger because when he said good twice and he said really good, that's what triggered my Tony Tiger.
Could you trigger your read about Prize Picks, which, given your track record, no one is saying you are the Tony Tiger.
I had a great Masters Sunday. Whoa.
Prize Picks.
Great Masters Sunday on Prize Picks.
Now he's an Irish Tiger.
What was that?
It was Irish, indeed it was. Prize Picks is great everywhere, and it's simple to play. Pick more or less on at least two players, shot to win up to 2,000. Used to be 1,000, now it's up to 2,000 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks, and now is the time. If you've been kind of waiting, I don't know, NBA Plus, you know everybody's going to play hard. You know everybody's going to bring it. Get in on the action right now. You could Don't miss your chance to cash in as the playoffs get started. Download the app today. Use that code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, you got play-in games tonight and tomorrow, and then the big thing. It all starts up Saturday. I'm going to definitely, I think I told you already, I haven't even looked at the projections. Giannis more, Halliburton less. That's where I'm at. I'm going to play that. Again, use that code WI. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Is Tucker Kraft Tucker the Tiger? Is he great? We'll have that conversation next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
This Saturday at 9 a.m., join Hunter Vaughn and the Dean, Dennis Semrau, as they head to the track and look at the top athletes from around the area. Plus, they're joined by the head track and field coach of Sun Prairie East, Doug Moan, as well as future Badger and defending 400-meter champion Nicole Repka of Verona. Again, join Hunter Vaughn and the Dean this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
We're on the Packers.
If they're not better this year,
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
there's going to be a lot of seats warming up.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Tucker Kraft.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Tauschi.
So you just said you've covered this team for 30 years, and you've seen Super Bowl championship teams. You've seen teams that should have won a Super Bowl that didn't. You've seen a couple that have. How many great players do you need to win a championship?
Well, it depends, Tausch, on how many really, really good players you have.
Good answer.
Thank you. I should be on a panel. Look, I love the Tony the Tiger angle. Also, Pipe Jim says he used to eat grape nuts. Now apparently they've come out with grape nuts flakes because even grape nuts realized nobody just wanted to eat a bowl of grape nuts.
Getting a lot of text on grape nuts.
Yeah, mostly positive or
I just
mostly
don't get
negative.
I don't get grape nuts. Is that part of the what family of cereals is that? Is that Kellogg's or is that?
What do you get? This sounds dangerously close to free advertising, unless they have ice cream cereal.
Well, I'm just curious. Who makes grape nuts?
I believe Post, but I don't know that for sure.
John and Madison, grape nuts are perfect on a dish of yogurt and fruit or on top of some
I could see that.
yogurt mix.
Okay.
Great source of fiber.
If you're
and
making your own parfaits.
Creamy
right?
base.
That's not eating it as a bowl of cereal.
I think puffed wheat from a bland standpoint probably is the best bland cereal you could get.
I was
Puffed
right.
wheat.
Post is the company that manufactures grape nuts. They are a crunchy whole grain wheat and barley cereal.
It's just not. It's just not great.
Jim on the south side. I buy grape nuts. They're great to spread on the icy driveway.
Oh, use it as a sand.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great marketing idea. Hopefully, grape nuts here's Jimmy and brings him on board.
High in fiber, whole grain ingredients made of wheat and barley, not grapes or nuts, despite the name.
Yeah, it's weird. It's an odd deal. I don't know who thought of that, but
so who would be the Packers grape nuts player?
Oh no.
Necessary because it's got good fiber. You need to have that fiber. It's a nice sprinkler. Long snapper? Orsak, maybe?
I was going to say Quay Walker was grape nuts.
I was actually thinking Quay Walker too.
Why do you guys think Quay Walker's grape nuts?
Because he's not. You're not excited about the bowl of grape nuts, but it's good for you. And it's part of a balanced diet.
I would disagree with you guys. I am excited. I'm excited about Quay Walker.
Right, I am too. As I've said repeatedly.
You both said him, which is odd.
Because
you did.
He was starting to turn the corner, and then he got hurt in Seattle. He has a chance to be something far more.
When does Grape Nuts turn the corner, though?
No, he had been a grape nuts player. He was starting to have some moments where he was being sprinkled on the yogurt parfait with some fruit and everything else, really starting to blend in, if you will, and be a more critical piece of the recipe. Then he got hurt. They got to decide on the fifth-year option with him. I feel like he could be a cereal you're excited to eat in the morning.
Okay.
But right now he's kind of grape nutty.
I mean, I push back on that big time. What cereal would be the good,
you're pushing back
solid player? Cheerios would be the good, just a good, solid guy.
Yeah. So what's Elton Jenkins then?
Elton Jenkins to me is like Cinnamon Life or Honey Nut Cheerios. Better, really good. I like it. It's got good taste. That's where I would probably say. I don't think he's not up to the great Tony the Tiger, right? But I think he's got a lot of flavor, and I think he is a really good player. Better than
he's got a lot of flavor.
Just like your milquetoast Cheerios. You know what I mean?
Not entirely. No, I don't. Know
Are we just awarding Frosted Flakes being the great because Tony the Tiger says so, or do we actually think Frosted Flakes are great?
Very fair point.
Question.
Because I take Cocoa Krispies over Frosted Flakes. I take a few things over, not a lot, but a few over Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, and how do we factor in healthy versus fun kids cereal? Like Fruit Loops, everybody loves Fruit Loops.
I don't like Fruit Loops. Don't like anything about Fruit Loops. Don't like Ginger Smacks, or what's that one called? The one with the frog on it?
Ginger Smacks? Honey Smacks?
Yeah, Smacks.
Honey Smacks.
With the frog guy.
Yeah. Fun name, though. Fun name.
All right, and apparently I saw a text flash by Cocoa Puffs, not very popular with at least one of our carbless talking text line texters. All right, I'm just trying
to look like the frog guy on Sugar Smacks.
Who does? Tausch looks like the frog guy?
He kind of looks like the frog guy on the front of the Honey Smacks box. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything about Honey Smacks. Never had it.
Rice Krispies? Where do we put Rice Krispies? Pipe Jim points out that they make noise.
Yeah, I think Rice Krispies, if we're getting rid of all taglines, I think Rice Krispies is one of the GOAT cereals. It makes a great – you want to make a dessert quick, you bring Rice Krispie treats to the party, everybody loves it. Nobody's going to say, boy, that's not great. When do you ever bring Rice Krispie treats somewhere people aren't happy about it?
Well,
never.
How many other cereals are there that you can make them into a bar that you bring to a party?
Cornflakes you can make dishes out of, and you can make a dessert. Okay. Cornflakes is more. You know what? Elton's Cornflakes, because of that versatility that you just
too bland.
No, that's good.
No.
That's good.
No, too bland.
No, it's not that bland. There is sugar baked into the cornflake. And I just told you there's 100 things you can do with cornflakes.
Elton
Jenkins is the cornflakes.
No, Elton Jenkins is Captain Crunch. That's what I think. Honey Smacks.
Have you come around and said now that you said that there are no Tony the Tigers on this team? Are you admitting that?
No, I'm not coming around on that. Okay. I'd like to get to the tease that I delivered.
Sometimes it's exasperating. Sometimes I'm exasperated.
Oh. Welcome to the club.
Sometimes I get exasperated by you.
Is that right? I'd like to pay off my tease. Maybe what I should do here is what we did yesterday.
Tease that you were wrong and you said that. Now you're backtracking. Beep, 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 beep. But you don't want to do that, which is fine.
Badgers will go to the Final Four if they go through Milwaukee. Yeah. No,
what I said.
Whatever you said. Yeah.
That's what I said.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tease this again. And then I'm going to tell you about Associated Bank, who I know is great. What is Tucker Kraft? What cereal is he? Is he a Tony the Tiger? Is he a Tucker the Tiger? Because the numbers, despite how much we love our Tucker Kraft around here, not just because he's a pickleballer, I think we may have a reality check coming on comparing him to some of the other tight ends around the league. We'll do that coming up after I tell you about a bank that is great, and it's Associated Bank. Great customer service, great perks, like early pay where you get access to your money up to 2 days early, like credit monitoring to make sure your credit number is on point, fraud protection, got to have that these days, and of course they're also great because they've got Packers checking, Badgers checking, and Brewers checking all under one roof. So if you want to make a great decision and switch banks, switch to Associated Bank. Go to AssociatedBank.com to start the process. What is Tucker Kraft? Using our Grape Nuts, Frosted Flakes, analytics, which has not involved the 565 folks who tell me that they have not heard from you in quite a while. I guess you're just giving them their time off. We'll get to Tucker Kraft.
From who? Me? I'm not going to be an overbearing boss. What, those guys want me to start.
You're the definition of an overbearing boss who doesn't pay his employees.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough world out there in the analytical business.
Tucker Kraft next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in Sport 30-2025.
Ben Bruss here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Sarah, how are you going to do a raised vegetable garden on this tiny condo balcony?
Grab that Craftsman drill and let's hang that trellis on the ceiling.
We've got the value you need to do things your way. Like all pairs of Skechers, buy one, get one half price. $10 off women's Levi's Red Tab shorts, $39.99. And new Stryker fishing apparel, 20% off.
Upside down tomatoes, here we come.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Hi, I'm John Hayes of Goodman's Jewelers. It's hard to imagine, but Goodman's has been the diamond store of Madison since 1933, which means your parents, maybe even your grandparents might have shopped with us. We maintain the same high standards, honesty, and integrity that kept them coming back time and again. Keep their history and our history alive. Shop Goodman's Jewelers today in the heart of Madison at 220 State Street. We're online at goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound on Wednesday, might get loud on Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town, lose my sense of time or two.
I do. I just don't know if the word great has been devalued when we talk about sports. Like, what is Aaron Rodgers? What is
Great.
What is Brett Favre? What is David Bakhtiari? What is Charles Woodson?
Great.
What is Tucker Kraft? So here's the thing. So Tucker Kraft, there were only 3 NFL tight ends who had more touchdown catches last season. Mark Andrews had 11. George Kittle had 8. Jonnu Smith had 8. The tight ends that had 7 last year were Tucker Kraft, Sam Laporta, Pat Freiermuth, and Zach Ertz. Do you know how many NFL tight ends caught more passes last year than Tucker Kraft?
22.
17.
Okay.
Can you have the 17th most catches among tight ends and be considered great? Because, look, we think he's a very, very good player and is going to keep getting better. I just don't this all started with talking about their roster, and Brock Bowers last year caught 112 passes for Vegas. Trey McBride, who just got a new contract from Arizona, had 111 catches. 47-year-old Travis Kelce had 97. Now, his wide receiver group, not very good, right? But how do we view the Packers wide receiver group? Certainly not great. Anyone in there at this point, right? So this is why I struggle, because I want to I don't want to have my biases, positive or negative, influence. I try to be, and I often fail, unbiased in my view. If he's a player that I really like as a person, probably colors my judgment, even though it shouldn't. If he's someone who is a complete jerk that I don't like, it shouldn't color my judgment, but I tried to do that with Bill Schrader in that story, and then Matt Hasselbeck and Ryan Longwell and Bernardo Harris and Santana Dotson all said things that made that story less positive than it would have been otherwise. I guess I'm just saying, do we overvalue the Packers roster? And I feel like during the Favre and Rodgers years, we almost did the opposite, where we undervalued the roster and acted like these guys were so responsible for them being as good as they were. Well, now you don't have a quarterback who's as good as those guys were. And are we seeing that maybe this roster's similar to those rosters, but there was an elevation from 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So it's not so much Tony the Tiger as it is understanding what exactly is a fair way to evaluate this roster. And my gut, even though I don't work for 565 Analytics, although I get paid the same amount as the ones that do, my gut tells me that it's not the 7th best roster in the league, that it's somewhere around the 10 or 11 range. And the fact that, say, Washington, for example, which was in the NFC Championship game, is rated lower than them, it makes me wonder about what the data was used to come up with that number. Is that a fair position for me to hold?
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
Dynamite. All right, let's play some trivia.
I just think we obviously cover the team and we look at it in depth, and there is a certain, I don't want to say glorification, but we do maybe listen to what coaches say in April, May, and up until the season starts, and coaches are going to be positive about their players. Otherwise, they're not going to be on the team. And sometimes you do get caught up in all of that, and then you hope and you want to see that next step that these players take. So, yes, and I keep coming back to there was a wideout, and I continue to forget his name, where everybody thought he was going to be the guy in 2011 or in
Tory
2012.
Gurley is who you're looking for.
Gurley. Everybody, oh my God, he's going to be the next guy. And then I don't even think he made the team, and then nobody picked him up, or if it was limited for a year. We do get caught up and we overvalue where some of our middle to back end of our roster players are. There's no doubt about that. But I think we might be undervaluing some of the young talent on defense. That's where I think, because the brand of Green Bay football for so long has been great quarterback play, and the defense let us down. Well, that hasn't always been true. And if you want to look at it, last year's playoff game, our defense played awesome football. Our offense stunk. And if you don't turn it over 4 times, you beat the crowned Super Bowl champions. And you want to look at Tampa Bay, that NFC Championship game. There's always these storylines that sometimes aren't necessarily, just because it's been a certain way doesn't mean it will always be that way. And I do think this group on defense has a chance to be really good. We saw a little bit of it at the end of last year, and I think you're going to see that next step taken by a lot of guys. And if not, I don't know if this offense, without some of the additions, I'm not sure how much better they can be.
Torrey Gurley played 3 NFL games in 2013 for the Cleveland Browns. He caught 1 pass for 15 yards on 3 targets. That is his stat line.
I would bet if I went back to the Wisconsin State Journal, I think you wrote for them at that point, that you would have had a glowing article about his role emerging as a Green Bay Packer wideout. I would bet.
Yeah, you'll have to go to the archives of ESPNWisconsin.com because that was after I shifted over.
It's probably on that great new app.
I'm
and
aware
I bet we
that
could
you
find
won't.
it, right?
It is not on the great new app, but you're right about this. That app is great, just like Tony the Tiger. It is the Frosted Flakes, which are actually just cornflakes with frosting on them. So maybe they're not so great, but Tony Tiger tells us they are. But I am telling you that the new ESPN Wisconsin app is indeed great. Your state, your teams, your ESPN, everything you could ask for. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. It's customizable on the homepage. So if you don't like me, for example, and I know some of you don't, you can move the little Wilde icon where you can get all my appearances on all the different shows. Move that to the bottom. Heck, delete it if you want. That's the beauty of having a customizable. You want more Bucs stuff. You want to hear more from Justin Garcia. Well, move that toward the top of your feed. That's the beauty of a customizable homepage. It makes it easier and quicker for live listening as well. And your shows are at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app is available in the Apple and Android app stores. Again, your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today. Jesse, I'm looking at this rundown, and I don't see trivia. Is that on purpose, or is that an oversight?
That was by design today, yes, with 2 great guests, Mike Tannenbaum, Luke Fickell. Wanted to make sure we had enough time dedicated to talking about Tucker Kraft, the tight ends, the NFL draft, and cereal. So we were we're going to do double trivia tomorrow to make up for no trivia today. Double trivia Friday tomorrow, a little special.
So I have a follow-up to the Tucker Kraft question. I don't know what cereal we've decided he is. But what is Luke Musgrave then? We'll figure that out next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Badgers.
There are moments where it feels like you're close, but taken holistically, those look like blips.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
To win a championship, you have to consistently be that team.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Simden Chevrolet in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevrolet in Mount Horeb.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk, in for Pablo Iglesias. It's been a rough week for Wisconsin football, to say the least, and things went from bad to worse Tuesday morning as head coach Luke Fickell confirmed that starting left tackle Kevin Haywood will undergo ACL surgery and more than likely miss the entirety of the 2025 season. Haywood started every game for the Badgers last year and by all accounts was having an impressive spring. Junior Josh Layton has been practicing in his stead.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
The Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers, Game 1.
Reverse layup off the window and in. What a play by the Greek Freak.
Saturday on Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
We'll figure out which cereal Luke Musgrave is. Soggy cereal that's been left in the bowl, or maybe you just forgot to add the milk. It's been sitting on the counter. But, Jesse, you've got some text you're really excited about.
There are two here that I wanted to show for you guys because I think they're both pretty good, and I like giving credit where it's due. Joe in Green Bay, Tucker Kraft, South Dakota State, Jackrabbit, cereal with a rabbit, Tricks.
Great places, South Dakota.
I like it.
Nailed it. Yeah, nailed it.
Silly rabbit.
Now, Joe has to have, we need everybody that is Joe has to either tell us their job or a moniker in front, because you got Caddy Joe, you got Up North Joe. Joe now needs to have some type of moniker.
Maybe he's just average Joe.
No, he don't want to be just average. Joe.
Nah, no Joe wants to be average.
You don't
Joe.
come up with you don't come up with a quip like that being average. You don't.
But is he great?
Joe's serial comp, not to be outdone by Adam in DeForest. Jair Alexander would be the self-appointed Captain Crunch.
That's your winner. That is your winner for today.
That one's great.
Nobody's beating that. That's great.
Yep, that's
that
the
is
winner.
Great.
Again, why do you add the accent of the Lucky Charms leprechaun to your great?
Who would be Lucky Charms? I would argue Matt LaFleur might be. LaFleur might be Lucky Charms.
Daniel Whelan, he's from Ireland.
I don't know. I think LaFleur is Lucky Charms. First head coaching job, he gets a Hall of Fame quarterback.
He's not very tall. Are you
The
factoring
winningest
that into
coach
that
in the
opinion
history of the league through 3 seasons.
What about
Lucky Charms all the way up until mid-January, and then it changes. That would be Matt LaFleur.
What about Goody?
What about him?
Could he be Lucky Charms because he's always collecting heart stars and horseshoes, clovers and doubloons, and he's putting everything all together?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. I'll have to think who Goody's going to be.
Well, while you think about who Goody is, you never have to think about what kind of beer you're going to drink. It's always Coors Light.
Always Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know Coors Light's cold-activated bottles and cans are chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I think I have to get a new live read sheet. She's starting to tilt. She's starting to tether.
My.
I love it. I have thoroughly enjoyed this sheet. I've ad-libbed off of it. I've had a lot of love for it, but I folded it and now it's ripped. Do we need a new one? I think so.
Yes.
Makes me sad. Maybe.
I feel like
We'll
at
see.
this point, do you even need the sheet?
No, but I like having it. I'm a sheet
It's a
guy.
crutch.
You know I'm a sheet guy.
It's a safety blanket.
I'm a sheet guy.
You're full of
Sheet
sheet. Yeah. We need to get to
Careful.
Luke Fickell. He's scheduled to appear on our program, the Badgers head football coach. Scheduled to appear next at the top of the 11 o'clock hour, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment. Complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Go to celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Wisconsin football head coach Luke Fickell scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch here on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Of course, that's ahead of the spring showcase at Camp Randall Stadium this weekend. Plenty of news this week hitting the transfer portal, injuries, all kinds of things going on with Wisconsin football. Head coach Luke Fickell scheduled to appear next on Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN. Earlier today, ESPN NFL front office insider Mike Tannenbaum also appeared on the show. 1 week to go until round one of the 2025 NFL draft in Green Bay. Mike Tannenbaum weighing in on the latest on Jordan Love, the wide receiver prospects the Packers may be interested in this year's draft, and much more. If you missed any of the conversation, download the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Subscribe for all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows and find exclusive interviews, bonus content, and more. The new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download it wherever you get your apps.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and it begins with the head football coach at the University of Wisconsin, Luke Fickell, here to give Tausch grief and talk a little football, too, on Wilde and Tausch. Coach, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Just got off the field, so Tausch wasn't out there today. We were on outside. It was a little chilly, so I didn't figure that a former offensive lineman would make it out for practice. But nonetheless, I'm here.
I like that Saturday. You guys don't really schedule practice around my schedule, which is what I normally like. You got the Saturday figured out, but you're going early during the Wilde and Tausch show in the rest of spring, which doesn't really fit my schedule.
Well, that was on purpose a little bit, but we also knew that since it was below 55 degrees, you probably wouldn't make it outside. If you could make it, it's just a little chilly for a former offensive line guy.
So if I don't want to risk having you hang up on me here, Luke, but I do think it's important to point out that you've brought in a former offensive line guy to get your offense going. So the offensive line slander, I don't believe me. I don't want to defend Tausch. That I have no interest in that. But how vital is our offensive lineman, especially when you got one who was great when he talked to us last week? I think you got a pretty good one in Jeff Grimes to help your offense get going. You'll make an exception for that offensive lineman?
It's mostly just a Tausch thing. It really doesn't have to do with O-line. It doesn't put as much pressure on him to say, why would this guy not always be on you, to just generalize it with offensive linemen. But nonetheless, yes, Coach Grimes is a former offensive line guy and has been a great asset. And I'm excited. I'm excited since the time I got a chance to meet him and spend some time with them, and I'm even more excited as we, getting towards the end of our spring ball and, seeing where we are and what we have to look forward to in front of us.
So, Luke, how has that process been? Because obviously you felt that was important to change course, and look, Jeff Grimes is a pretty impressive dude from my experience. So how has the process been throughout the spring transitioning to his offense?
Well, it's been a process, and I think that more so even in the winter. I mean, we spent a lot more time, just the nature of, it gave us an excuse to say, hey, we've got a new offense and we've got to do some things defensively different to do more football. But I think to the most part I think our guys are feeling more and more comfortable with where they are and what we're doing and, what we need to continue to do to be ready for the fall. But I think everybody's excited. Really, within the program, I think, there's just so much more on everybody's plate. In the past, it seemed like things were on the quarterback's plate and even the wide receiver's plate, where now all of a sudden there's much more on the offensive lineman's plate and the tight end's plate. And you know what? They enjoy that and they embrace that.
Boy, I bet you that pains you to say that offensive line is smart. You mentioned quarterback.
I said more on their plate.
That's true, but it was implied. There was an implication to that. So you're talking quarterback, and that obviously with how the transfer portal and how everything is going, I heard your interview on the Big Ten Network, and you kind of talked about Billy Edwards, and one of the things you love his leadership so far. You see some good things on the field, but kind of just take us into how Billy is adjusted to his new team.
Yeah, today was maybe one of Billy's rougher days. Just had some things out there at practice, some balls tipped and fall in the other guys' hands. But it even showed me more even today and his ability to handle whatever's kind of thrown at him, and still continue to lead. Because as we know, that position in particular, everybody looks at. And that position combined with, having to always be a leader can be exhausting. And even in a day like today where, things didn't go well, I saw the maturity in him. I saw the ability to continue to lead and, and that means holding other people and himself accountable on a consistent basis was something even, and they took another step that, for me today. But he's done a great job of just coming in here and embracing things. And it was a different, just so you guys know, it was different. The last 2 years we've obviously had a quarterback that we've had from the transfer portal that has come in and become the starter. Both of those, in theory, we brought him in and say, hey, you got to go compete for it. And not that Billy isn't competing, but I think it took a little bit away from those guys and their ability to kind of insert themselves as a leader and the leader of an offense and a team. And walking in the door, Billy, we've just kind of said, hey, this is your team. This is your offense. They'll have others to compete with you, but we want you to start leading and be a leader from day one. And he's kind of taken that and run with it.
The offensive line, which we've talked about a bunch, obviously a tough injury over at left tackle. What's kind of the thought process moving forward? You see a lot of guys getting a lot of work across the group. What are you thinking over at left tackle moving forward?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I do think obviously Leighton Nelson's playing there right now, and we could move Emerson Mandel out there, which he hasn't solidified like whether he's a guard or he's a tackle, and so I think he's a definite guy that maybe even be a little bit more comfortable at the tackle position. Do we get and when do we get Barrett Nelson back? Barrett Nelson, he's a guy that obviously got injured there in the winter. So there's some definite options. It's just, again, we got to figure out how it all kind of ties and who continues to mature and, what young guys have an opportunity. And then we do need to take a peek at this portal window, just because when you have an injury, I think that's one of those things that, with the way the game is today and, the landscape, it gives you an opportunity to see if there's something that you think could really help you moving forward, especially for this year.
All right, Luke, you mentioned the portal, and so I loved what you said. It obviously got a lot of attention. This is not a grown-ass man's show, but it is a grown-ass man's league. I'm curious, like, you're 2+ years into this. You obviously had tons of success in the previous version of college football. You've joined us multiple times. We've talked about the challenges of this. You can't complain about it. It is what it is. But can you explain just how freaking hard it is to figure out how to build a roster with all this? And do you think we're finally getting to a place where there'll be more guardrails and normalcy so you can do it without having to always be adjusting on the fly?
Well, yes. I do think we're getting really close to some of those guardrails that at least allows you to plan for the future and how you want to continue to do things. When there aren't, the hard thing is it's almost like day to day. And in that process, I think it does hurt a little bit of the development. And that's something that, we want to continue to pride ourselves upon. But I do think that, hey, where this thing is headed and, with the guardrails, with your ability to say, okay, here's some structure now, you guys got to go build. I know for a fact that we've got a plan that I feel much better about, as opposed to even the last couple of years where it's okay now that it's hard to have a plan just because there is no structure, and you kind of just keep throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks, unfortunately, and that just hasn't boded well for us. And that's not an excuse. That's the landscape, and that's I think maybe has slowed down the development of a lot of younger guys. And, but I think we're in a better place now. And I do love the development, but we do understand that when I said that idea, that's a grown ass man's league, what I mean is, like, every guy, they don't get the luxury of growing up like I did, or even like Tausch did. I mean, like, not that he's that much younger, but I'd say even in the last, that wasn't a stab. That was just truth. Like, in the last 3 years, I would say, this league has changed. And I think that means as a younger guy in a program, you don't have nearly as much time. You got to become a pro. You got to grow up. You got to mature really fast if you want to play. And if you don't, you got to look for some of these guys that have a lot more maturity walking in the door, because that's what you're going to play against every single week.
Well, on the flip side of that, look, I cover the NFL. It's almost exclusively what I've covered now for a long time. So those are, and I'm enjoying just saying this on the radio and seeing if Jesse gets in trouble for it, grown-ass men. It's great. But I also, and Tausch is a parent too, the athletes in my house are 15 and 14. And one of the things we talk a lot about is overcoming adversity, right? Coach doesn't play you as much as you want. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to overcome that? And you as a player, Tausch as a player, you had to fight for your opportunities. We were talking to Matt Bowen, who played at Iowa and played in the NFL yesterday. We were talking to him about that and his process at Iowa to become a starter toward the end of his career. Do you think, and how do you go about coaching? Because you had the line about you can't coach hostages. But it would be great if you would have some more guys, and I'm not saying you don't have them on your team, but guys that want to go through that journey and go through that adversity and then come out on the other side of it as a better player and a better person because of it. Are we losing that because of what we have now in college football, or am I overreacting?
No, we are, and that's, again, we all have to adapt to what the landscape is. But I do fear. I'm like, or worried. Look, I've got, 2 juniors in high school that want to, go play, football at the next level, and I reiterate to them on a consistent basis, like, there's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of things you got to be able to overcome, but the game is continuing to grow, and guys that aren't prepared to be able to battle that adversity, we have made it a little bit too easy to take the easy route. And I mean that in the sense that if things don't go exactly the way you want them to in your year 1 or year 2, I'm not saying everybody, but like, it just has become so much easier to find a way to go to another direction. And we know as parents, sometimes the most difficult thing is when your kid is struggling, right? I mean, there's nothing more difficult. But I also know that, like, they have to struggle. They have to struggle in order to grow. And to think that there's an easier route all the time is not the case. And right now, just in college athletics, we've made it a little bit easier to say, hey, this might not be working for you. Let's find another place or another direction. And in the long run, I think that's going to cost us. And I don't just mean us as a program. I think it's going to cost a lot of our youth, and these guys need to grow up.
Is it nice to find that out? Kind of the comments were about a couple of the portal kids that came in and are probably leaving this spring. Is it nice that you find that out right away and you can find an alternative moving forward? Because my hunch is coaches are fine with one portal, but this idea of 2 portals, it gives guys another opportunity if they don't get the reps that they want in spring, that they can go and find, not that it's an easier way, but it's the path of least resistance.
And that's the thing I use, the path of least resistance. Yeah, it is. And that's the hard part, is there's still a little bit of an exit for people. And to be honest with you, I mean, in order for those guys to go, just so you know, in order for those guys, it had to be a mutual thing. So there are some stipulations that guys don't just have the freedom to go whenever they want. But as a program and as a team, we start to recognize, look, I don't want to find out on August 28th or September, whatever, in Tuscaloosa, that they don't really love what it is that they're doing. They aren't committed to their teammates. This is a little bit too much for them. Like, I guess it's better that you find that out now so that you can continue to develop the people that deep down inside have it. They just haven't had the opportunity to be able to show it yet. So I think it's twofold. I think, in some ways you could say, hey, let's look at the positive. This is going to give us a chance to make sure we know the guys that truly want to be here, because if they don't, there is a little window that they could still find something that's easier for them.
Solving all the problems of college athletics with Luke Fickell on Wilde and Tausch. We'll work on the stock market and the other stuff that's going on a subsequent appearance for you. Let's talk a little bit of football. And I know Tausch has been out to a few practices. I have not. I would like to make it out there, although if I have to stand next to him, I'm maybe less interested. But you've got the spring
We'll get
showcase.
you a better spot than where he stands.
Okay, perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. You've got the spring showcase on Saturday. I still remember covering the NFL draft. It was going on at the same time as the spring game, and Lee Evans tore his ACL in a spring game. And I am.
Oh, thank you.
I am the bubble wrap type.
Yeah, great
guy.
karma you're bringing there.
No, that's history. but
okay.
It's illustrative of the thing that look. Matt LaFleur is a bubble wrap guy up here in Green Bay. He does not want live tackle. I mean, he plays it safe. Okay, a lot of coaches do. How do you weigh that, Luke, in terms of your approach to spring practice, fall practice, the spring game? How do you, because I would argue that it also leads to poorer tackling and maybe even guys not being ready to get hit when it matters. So how do you weigh that when you're planning your spring practices and your spring game?
It's a difficult one, to be honest. And I think that we're getting closer towards, what the next level has. And if and when we go to this 105, I don't know that there's going to be a possibility of having spring games of any sort. Just with a limited number of guys, especially that you would have in spring. But, look, I didn't sleep for a couple of days, when Kevin Haywood got hurt last week in practice. Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is it wasn't in a live drill. It wasn't in a inside drill. It wasn't in a team run drill. It was in a 2-minute drill where, you're working, pass and tap stuff. And so it still bothered me. It still, took a couple of days to sleep, thinking what if and what should we have done. And so you don't know. I know this. Mm-hmm. I truly believe, I'm a guy, look, we got to continue to practice. We got to continue to push. We got to continue to play. But it's always in my mind. I do think for us, and I've told our guys this, we need to have a really physical, we need to have a spring where we can go live and we can do some of these things, because I don't know that that's going to be what our fall looks like. And so I think you have to figure out, okay, can we take care of the football? Can we tackle? I'm a little bit more apt to say, let's do that in the spring to figure out where we are, because I think as the fall moves forward for us, I think we're going to have to be smarter. I don't want to say a bubble wrapped guy, but we got to be smarter. We know what we've got. Okay. We've got to develop still some of those younger guys, but this is that grown man league that you say by August or by September, you got to know the guys that you got, and you got to get them ready.
All right, Luke, we should probably let you go, even though we could keep you much longer, and we have not hit our make fun of Tausch quota, which we normally do. But speaking of Tausch, this is what happens on this show. We have the head coach of Badger football, and we talk about cereal. He's a big Tony the Tiger guy. When you're going for your breakfast of choice and you have to eat cereal, what is Luke Fickell eating?
Oh, my goodness. I used to be a cereal guy myself, and I don't know if I've eaten cereal in the last, I don't know how many years. Anything with sugar, but they're just not in the house. So, you know what? All these different kinds of checks now.
Oh,
between that and Raisin Bran would be where I would go. And when you're a kid, the Fruit Loops and the Frost, all those. But now that stuff that doesn't appeal to me. It's more, hey, there's all different kinds of peanut butter checks, to chocolate checks, to and then, hey, by the way, there's some Raisin Bran. Oh, okay, those things stay pretty good. That's where I'm headed.
All right. Well, I'm glad. See, Luke Fickell and I've got Raisin Bran and checks guys.
He's got to be like a fruity. You got to be like a Fruity Pebbles or.
It's not Fruity Pebbles. No, I'm a Rice Krispies guy. Flakes? That's my top pick is Rice Krispies.
Little snap, crackle, and pop. Okay. I bet you pour some sugar and honey on top of that, though.
Yes.
There you go.
Plenty.
Checks guy. That's interesting.
Luke, thanks for humoring us with our stupidity and giving us insight at the same time. We appreciate you, man. Good luck on Saturday, and
you guys have
good
a great
luck
day
down the road. That is Luke Fickell, the Badgers football coach on Wilde and Tausch, and a Czechs guy. Czechs underrated. We didn't do a good enough job of getting into Czechs while we were discussing cereal. You all right over there?
Yeah, it's just a little. You're sounding Megatron-ish right now. Maybe it's just me.
Well, I don't mean to.
I think it is just him.
All right.
Everybody else, it sounded good. It felt frozen up to me. I couldn't barely hear what you were saying.
He's been good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, would you say I've been great, though?
That's an interesting. Czechs is very versatile. The fact that we didn't bring that up, and that's Luke's
an oversight.
Go-to.
Yeah.
Solid.
Czechs might be the
solid.
Elton Jenkins for
What's
our
the
analogy.
puppy chow? What's the puppy chow?
That's made of Czechs.
How do you make
Put
puppy
Czechs
chow?
in
That's
that.
made of Czechs,
My mom
yep.
makes like a Czechs mix, and you use that. Yeah, it's very versatile.
Yeah, but there's something like white dusty chocolate that's in there too.
Well, yes, it starts as just
what is that
Czechs.
little- it's
you
a
gotta
little- you
make
know what I'm
it
talking
in a
about?
bowl. Yeah, I do know puppy chow. I know what you're talking about.
No. There's a little cube. No. I know there's Czechs in there, dude. I get that. But there's like this. It's almost like a graham cracker type that's got a white dusting on it. Right?
So,
okay.
puppy chow is Czechs cereal with peanut butter and chocolate and powdered sugar all mixed together, and then it all sticks to the Czechs. That's the white powder.
It's not, Jason. Yes, there's Czechs in it, but there's the part that makes it the puppy chow are the little pebbly type things that is not a Czechs. It's got like a graham cracker crunch to it.
I just Googled
It's
Czechs
not
with-
all Czechs, and that's not what puppy chow is.
I just searched Czechs with powdered sugar, and all that comes up are a bunch of puppy chow recipes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, puppy chow has something besides Czechs in it. I'm telling you.
Peanut butter. I just said peanut butter. You're not listening.
No, I understand.
Something
there is
else.
another texture of cereal in the puppy chow.
Another texture of cereal. Like a s'mores, like a golden graham?
Yes.
Well, I don't know who is
It's
that.
like
Diane's
a golden
recipe?
graham that gets dusted with that powdered sugar. Yes.
So maybe
Was
maybe
this
you're
out next to the fudge at Christmas at the Tauscher household?
and those caramels that your sister-in-law stole.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do some more research on puppy chow. We'll also get to Whoa Nelly coming up. Talk a little bit about what Luke Fickell had to say there. Want to remind you, Gruber Law Offices. Hey, you go to gruber-law.com. You see all the teams they're affiliated with. One of them is the Badgers. They're one of the proud partners of Wisconsin athletics. They're also the best in the business when it comes to serious injury and litigating those accidents. So make the call. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. We'll talk a little more about what Luke Fickell had to say next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Sarah, how are you going to do a raised vegetable garden on this tiny condo balcony?
Grab that Craftsman drill and let's hang that trellis on the ceiling.
We've got the value you need to do things your way. Like all pairs of Skechers, buy one, get one half price. And Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, now with 25% more coverage per bag, just $59.99 after $10 rebate.
Upside down tomatoes, here we come.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
Get a sneak peek at the 2025 Wisconsin football team. Join us April 19th for Wisconsin Football Spring Showcase presented by UW Credit Union. The day kicks off with the Coles Kids Combine, followed by Badgers Open Practice at noon, featuring new faces like quarterback Billy Edwards Jr. and offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes. After practice, head to the field for photos with Badgers student-athletes. Tickets are $5 and free for football season ticket holders, UW students, and kids under 12. Claim your tickets for the Wisconsin Football Spring Showcase at uwbadgers.com.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop stab,
that's his favorite.
And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, it's John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. Come in and discover the high standards, classic traditions, honesty, integrity, and elegance when you walk through our doors. For over 90 years, customers have returned again and again to our warm boutique setting. Trust me, because I've been there for over 40 of them. Whether it's time to come back or your first time in, stop by Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street today. Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Bridges. On Saturday, May 3rd, play in a 2- or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes with a cart, prizes, and a Mexican feast. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I know for a fact that we've got a plan that I feel much better about, as opposed to even the last couple of years where it's okay now that they're really, it's hard to have a plan just because there is no structure, and you kind of just keep throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks, unfortunately, and that just hasn't boded well for us, and that's not an excuse. That's the landscape, and that's I think maybe has slowed down the development of a lot of younger guys. And, but I think we're in a better place now. And I do love the development.
That is Badgers football coach and noted Chex cereal fan, Luke Fickell, moments ago. If you missed the full interview, you can get it on YouTube. You can get it on the ESPN Wisconsin app, the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app. And, of course, you can get it where you get all your other podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, etc. Tausch, I feel like whether it's been him or Greg Gard when he joins us, it's for years now, going back to when Gardo was talking about an inappropriately named TV show during the pandemic. We talk a lot about the portal and NIL and the challenges. And the stuff that Luke Fickell said recently about not wanting to coach hostages and grown-ass man's league and everything else, that all stems from that. Do you think we're on the verge of normalcy And we won't be a year from now, that conversation will be much less front and center in conversations we have with Badgers coaches that come on the show.
I don't know. I hope so, but I would venture to say no. I know there's a lot of hope around this lawsuit and all of these things settling, and and I hope that's the case, because I think one of the things that we're seeing is, Matt Bowen mentioned it, I would mention it, I think most players, you need time to develop, and now there is basically going to be tiering systems off, where you're going to go smaller schools to start. I think the idea of being a high school recruit going to Wisconsin, unless you're a 5-star kid, those days are going to be over. You're going to start going to smaller schools, and then you're going to build up. And then, Luke said it, you need to be a grown blanking ass. A grown
Nailed the
blank
there.
Yeah, I screwed the blank up there. But you need to be that guy tomorrow when you're here, because there is no the time of developing and growing guys, and you can redshirt and grow some players, but it's pretty limited. You need to be ready to go. And that isn't always going to be the case. College football is broken. We see that. I just saw something, and Jesse can correct me on this. I want to say there was 10,000, or there's 1,000 kids that entered the spring portal. I think it might even be more than that. Not everybody's going to find a seat. So it's the thing that I found interesting. One of the things that Luke said with us is it's nice to find out now that maybe guys aren't going to be the right fit for this program. You don't want to see it in August and September when there's nothing you can do about replacing those guys. So I think this concept of hitting more in the spring, yes, you don't want to do it in the fall as much, but it's also to find out where you're at and to find out if guys fit what you're looking for culture-wise. And if they don't, deuces be, because it was very interesting to me that in order to leave and get back in the portal after portaling, it has to be mutual. I thought that was a really interesting quote that Luke said.
All right, so one more thing on this, and then we'll get to Whoa Nelly. I was standing at Maddie's track meet earlier this week with my friend Jeremy Kroll, who is, like us, a Wisconsin alum. His daughter Thea is going to be on the Badgers track and field team next year. She's a senior. Wisconsin Gatorade Player of the Year in track and field. And his son is playing football, and he's gotten some interest already from some schools. But I said, would he ever consider, wanting to be like his dad and be a Badger and being a walk-on at Wisconsin? And Jeremy said, there's not going to be walk-ons anymore in this new world. Is that true? Are the days of the Mark Tauscher story, the Jim Leonard story, are those going the way of the, what was it, the woolly mammoth that you said yesterday? Is that going to be one of the unintended consequences of the new world order of college football? Because those guys are the ones that have been the lifeblood of Badger football for a very long time. Is that what we're looking at moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be 105.
Well, how sad is that?
And I don't know if all will be scholarshiped, but, when I played, I always tell you I have a pair of sweatpants that has the number 140 because that was my number. I was the 140th kid on the roster. There's 142 of us. It's not going to be the case. So I don't know. I can't speak on that for certain. But this idea of walking on and redshirting, working, and playing your fifth year, there's not going to be – I don't think you're going to see that unless you're – there are some kids that have went through that process still on this team. that have earned scholarships and whatnot. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but the number of opportunities for Nebraska kids, Wisconsin kids, Iowa kids, which have had these really good, strong walk-on programs for years, is going to be severely limited to what it was before. It's not even going to be in the same ballpark. So I would say yes. Unfortunately, that is going to be a new reality that this system's going to bring.
All right. So Mark Gerald Tauscher is a senior now at Auburndale. What does his journey look like to being the starting right tackle of the Green Bay Packers in this environment? Is he playing at UW Oshkosh and then hoping to go into the portal and go to a Division II school and then hoping to get to a Division I school? Like, when Jeremy said that to me, standing at the fence watching Thea do the shot put, I was like, that was like a gut punch to me. Because and regardless of my relationship with you, the walk-on story, like when guys get their scholarship in the team meeting after being that's the stuff that, to me, is what college football has been all about. And the idea that is going away is an unintended, crappy consequence of where the sport is at, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that, but that's the reality of where we're at. So as far as how that scenario would play out for me, I think now, ideally, you would try and go to as big of a school as you can, and whether that's a MAC school or, a North Dakota, South Dakota State, one of those programs. And what's happening, this isn't rocket science. Every kid, I just saw North Dakota lost a ton of their players. South Dakota State portaling. There's a South Dakota kid that's a left tackle that I would guess is going to be on the radar. It is a minor league system now, and you want guys that are 20 and 21 years old to come in that can play tomorrow. You don't necessarily want a cherubic young man that is not ready to play and needs 3 years to kind of get into any type of place that he could play. You'd rather them develop at somewhere else and then come when they're a little bit closer to being able to help you win.
All right, on that happy note, let's talk about something that we're really excited about. That, of course, is your big sweepstakes, your bathroom shower renovation, woof woof, with Kohler Services.
Yes, and if you think your shower is ugly, one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, take a picture. Send it over to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest. Get a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yep, you heard me right. One lucky fan. Free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition and removal of your existing shower or bath, and you get installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. Upload your photo by April 30th to goodkarmabrands.com. It's right there. You just click. I think you take a picture of that, right, Jesse? If you're on our video,
the QR
take
code.
A picture,
scan the QR code,
scan that in, and you can go Good Karma Brands QR code. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower.
I have something exciting to share with you. I've been privy now to seeing some of the showers that are being entered into the contest.
Oh,
so we get to now when
do I get a vote on which shower wins?
For
or
sure,
is that going to be all
I think
Kohler?
for sure.
I'm pretty
you get
sure
to,
you're the the great decider. You're
the
Judge
guru.
Judy.
Yeah. The buck stops with old
I don't know for sure. Are you telling me Doug, our good buddy Doug, has got nothing to do? It's going to be all old T picking?
I mean, do I think that Doug might try to influence you in some way?
I don't think we
shape,
should
or
ever
form?
give you any exclusive power
I would
over
agree.
anything. I think there should always be some balances in place with you. But here is one of the showers that was entered into our contest. And we'll get to show some of these as we continue on throughout the promotion of the contest through the end of the month. So this is a good candidate here early on.
Yeah.
I kind of like the backsplash.
The backsplash is fun, but you can tell the wood cabinets and
I like the
tile.
mirror.
Like,
I think that mirror looks good too.
It's an older style. It could use an upgrade, that's for sure.
Are they doing the whole bathroom, or are they just doing the shower?
Well, there's no shower there. It's just a tub.
That's true. They need a. They definitely need. And a soap dish that we could see within the backsplash. And if you're listening on the radio, you're like, what the hell are these idiots talking about? This is why you want to join the video.
That backsplash is strong. I love a good backsplash.
I know. I've heard that about you.
Backsplash.
It's like a puppy chow backsplash with some Golden Grahams mixed in. We will get to Whoa Nelly next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Look what we have here. It's the refreshing deliciousness of a Pepsi mini can. It's the perfect complement to any meal. The dash of indulgence your day was dreaming of. The sip that'll have you singing Pepsi.
Nope, not again, Steve. Let's take a cue from the Pepsi mini can and pack all that awesomeness you're feeling into a much smaller treat for everyone. Deal?
So, big awesomeness, smaller size. I think I've got just the thing.
Pepsi mini can. Mini can, big taste.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wilde?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's #1 pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply and 4/30/2025.
Chevy Truck Month is back. Get more truck for your buck at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Right now, get 2.9% APR financing for 72 months and $6,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Chevy Silverado. That's right, 2.9% for 6 years. That really is more truck for your buck. But hurry, offer ends on April 30th. Never overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet. No down payment required. Monthly payments equal $15.15 per 1,000 financed with approved credit through GM Financial.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in-store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why less is more with Carbliss.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you think your shower is one of the ugliest in Wisconsin, upload a photo to goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for a chance to win a free shower remodel. Yes, you heard me correctly. One lucky fan will win a free shower remodel from Kohler Services, including a design consultation, demolition, and removal of your existing shower or bath, and installation of a brand new Kohler Lugstone shower. goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest for your chance to win.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
I'm the most guaranteed person you could take.
The 2025 NFL Draft.
Is he a lockdown corner? Is he an elite receiving entity?
Round 1 begins Thursday, April 24th on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
Man, I'm excited, Jesse, that I have the sole power to pick who gets a new Kohler Lugstone shower. That is exciting to me.
With great power comes great responsibility. Are you up to the task?
Yes.
Feels a little too arbitrary to put this all in one person's hands.
Yeah, and
should we make it a panel?
Speaking of unintended consequences, think about what happened with Jingle for Your Kringle. Very controversial
battle. Yes.
2 years ago, there were those who believed that Josh and Heartland was hosed. Then last year he did an entire Broadway musical production.
Yeah, it was too much.
Created controversy.
Too much.
Are you ready to face the music, Old T, if that's all falling on your plate?
Yeah, I don't mind facing the music, but I like keeping everybody involved. So I'm either going to do this. I will, and again, I probably need to talk to Doug about this before I make a final decision.
You should probably do that.
Good idea.
But I'm either going to have you and Jesse be part of a panel,
share the
or
blame.
I'm going to bring the analytics firm on to it.
Okay.
Am I invited to the panel, or is Pablo invited to the panel, and I can tag along if I want and kind of work my way into it?
Well, I'm going to invite Charlie Steiner first.
Oh, that's good.
Then Kenny Mayne, and then Pablo, and then you.
Whoa,
Nelly! Sticking with the theme of college football this hour on Wilde and Tausch, Lee Corso, the legendary face of College Game Day on ESPN, retiring after 38 years as part of College Game Day. His final College Game Day broadcast will be week 1 of the coming season. He'll be on site with the whole crew, and that will be his final College Game Day. His role on the show has been, diminishing a little bit over the last couple of years, not making some of the lengthy road trips, but the headgear pick from Lee Corso has become a staple of a college football Saturday for any viewer anywhere in the country, an icon of pregame shows and of college football. Lee Corso announced earlier today on social media that he'll be retiring after week 1 of the coming college football season. Tausch, your thoughts?
He is an institution. He's an institution, and I think you always got the sense he loves being where he's at. His passion for this, and I think the last 3 or 4 years, obviously he's been battling some stuff, and I think the way Kirk Herbstreit has nurtured and kind of helped him through that, I think it's been awesome to watch. And I think so for Lee to kind of go out and be able to get to 90 years old and doing that is pretty doggone impressive. He has left a monster mark on college football, both as a coach, but really as transforming the entertainment part of college football.
I think Lee Corso is an institution, as Tausch said. I love the fact that he also is still very sharp as a football guy, but moreover, I enjoy guys like him and Dick Vitale and Bill Raftery, who I think is like 82 now. Like they are just, they have such a wealth of knowledge, and yet they still manage to deliver it in a way. Obviously Euchre calling games, was his fastball what it had been? No, but it was still a joy to be part of. And so I feel a little sad every time one of these guys say, okay, the time has come for me to step aside. But, man, institutions are exactly the right word.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for Whoa Nelly. Jesse made his triumphant return from his panel and kept it short, or maybe we just ran long with Luke Fickell. Less Jesse Nelson, never a bad thing.
How do we have hotels that are even like the nicest hotels now that still don't have fans in the bathroom?
Wait, did you guys bunk in together? I thought.
No,
by the way, you thought you were done. I thought you were done. Now you got another topic.
No, I don't know if this will ever come up again. I'm sure it will. I've brought it up several times. How do we have they put us up in one of the nicer hotels in downtown Peoria? But Beck and I stayed in a nice hotel. We went on our cruise before we left port in Florida. Brand new place.
Becca went on the trip with you too?
No, this was different hotel. The two most recent hotels I've stayed at have both been nicer hotels. And they don't have fans in the bathroom. And so you take a shower, and it takes like...
I thought you were going to say something else there instead of shower.
You take a shower...
Why don't you Jesse, take a picture and put it on goodkarmabrands.com/Wisconsin contest, and maybe it'll win because they ain't got a fan. Hey, come on. Stop stinking up the joint. You don't need a fan.
I'm not even talking about that. You take a hot shower in the morning, and I want to use the mirror to get ready and like get your hair done and shave and everything, and you can't even see yourself because it's so foggy because there's no ventilation in the bathroom.
Well, shave before you shower. Come on. How many times, in all honesty, how many times do you turn a fan on when you're in a hotel bathroom? Unless it's by accident. You turn the light on. The only time I ever turn a fan on is if I accidentally hit the second switch. I never use a fan.
I always use the fan. Always.
You do not.
I do.
You're using the fan on a regular basis.
He uses it all
Come
the
on.
time.
Yeah, sorry. If you're going to the bathroom, if you're showering, fan, crucial part of the equation. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm with Jesse. All right, we need to wrap things up. Fan or no fan, next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk, in for Pablo Iglesias. It's been a rough week for Wisconsin football, to say the least, and things went from bad to worse Tuesday morning as head coach Luke Fickell confirmed that starting left tackle Kevin Haywood will undergo ACL surgery and more than likely miss the entirety of the 2025 season. Haywood started every game for the Badgers last year and by all accounts was having an impressive spring. Junior Josh Layton has been practicing in his stead.
Everyone is talking about the draft, but you won't feel one from high-quality Pella windows. Get no-interest financing options or free glass upgrades today at PellaWI.com.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
It's time for spring savings at Metro Kia Madison this month. Drive away in the 2025 Kia K4 with financing as low as 2.9% for 48 months, $22.09 cost per thousand borrowed. Or you can upgrade to the luxurious 2025 Kia Sportage with rates as low as 1.9% for 60 months, $17.48 cost per thousand. Hurry, these offers end April 30th. Head to Metro Kia Madison or visit MetroKiaMadison.com today.
You remember the moments from that magical March.
Side Decker, it's a three. Got it!
On June 26th, celebrate the squad with Made 'em Believe, a special night with Bo Ryan, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker.
Here's Kaminsky, the drop
that's his favorite.
And the two.
Presented by Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzer. Tickets are on sale now at UWHoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to find.
All right, Tausch is on the wrong side of the fan discussion. There is no further discussion to be had. He's just flat out wrong. But is he right or wrong when it comes to puppy chow? Let's go to Jack Rabbit Mama on the Carbless Talk and text line to clarify.
Having made it many times, Chex is the only cereal in puppy chow. The little nuggets are what happen when melted chocolate chips, peanut butter, and powdered sugar have a baby.
Great places, South Dakota.
Jack Rabbit
Seems to me he was wrong on that as well.
I'm telling you right now, there are nuggets in there that are cereal-based. And while I love Jack Rabbit Mama, you guys know I love Jack Rabbit Mama, I disagree with her on this.
You do the research and come back tomorrow, or have 565 Analytics do it for you. That's it for us today. Thanks to Luke Fickell. Thanks to Mike Tannenbaum. And thanks to you for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella